An internet outage or internet blackout or internet shutdown is the complete or partial failure of the internet services. It can occur due to censorship, cyber attacks, disasters, police or security services actions or errors. Disruptions of submarine communications cables may cause blackouts or slowdowns to large areas. Countries with a less developed internet infrastructure are more vulnerable due to small numbers of high-capacity links. A line of research finds that the internet, with it having a hub-like core structure that makes it robust to random losses of nodes but also fragile to targeted attacks on key components minus the highly connected nodes or hubs. A government internet blackout is the deliberate shutdown of civilian internet access by a government for a small area or many large areas of its country. Such a shutdown is typically used as a means of information control in a brief period of upheaval or transition. It can impede the ability of protesters or insurgent forces to mobilize and organize. It also serves to prevent real-time information access for foreign people or entities. Reactions from leaders, journalists, observers and others in foreign countries can be delayed. The temporary disconnection of civilian internet access by military forces is an important aspect of information warfare. This tactic is common today and is often used in concert with a ground invasion by conventional forces. It could also be used in advance of an airstrike campaign. Extreme weather events and natural disasters can lead to internet outages by either directly destroying local ICT infrastructure or indirectly damaging the local electricity grid. The Monash IP Observatory and KASPR Data House have tracked the impact of Hurricane Florence 2018, Cyclone Fani 2018, and Hurricane Laura in 2020. A variety of organizations measure internet shutdowns, including the Open Observatory of Network Interference, Access Now, Freedom House, the WeDem Institute, the Open Net Initiative, the University of Michigan's Censored Planet Observatory, the Internet Censorship Lab, and the Monash IP Observatory. These organizations use a range of methods to detect shutdowns such as expert analysis, remote sensing, and remote sensing with oversight. Some of these organizations, such as Access Now, maintain active lists of internet shutdowns. Several organizations use expert analysis to identify internet shutdowns. Some, such as the WeDem Institute's Digital Societies project, send out surveys to experts around the world and then aggregate the results into a single score. For internet shutdowns, WeDem asks, how often does the government shut down domestic access to the internet? Quote, where answers range from extremely often to never or almost never. Freedom House's Freedom on the Net report also uses expert analysis to assess whether internet shutdowns have occurred. But instead of surveying multiple experts, Freedom House identifies and partners with a single expert to conduct an analysis. Freedom House asks the question, does the government intentionally disrupt the internet or cell phone networks in response to political or social events, whether temporary or long-term, localized or nationwide? Quote, generally, expert analyses are more prone to false positives and fewer false negatives than remote sensing methods with manual oversight. Other organizations use various remote sensing techniques to identify shutdowns. Some organizations, such as the Open Observatory of Network Interference, the Internet Censorship Lab and the Monash IP Observatory, use automated remote sensing methods to detect internet shutdowns. The Open Observatory of Network Interference uses software installed on computers of volunteers around the world to detect shutdowns. However, these methods are prone to false positives, false negatives, and various technical challenges. In order to address these concerns, some organizations have implemented various methods of oversight. Organizations such as Access Now and the Open Net Initiative use such methods. Access Now uses technological methods to detect shutdowns, but then confirms those shutdowns using news reports, reports from local activists, official government statements, and statements from ISPs. The Open Net Initiative has volunteers install software on their computers to check websites from access points around the world. then confirms those results with manual observations. These methods are prone to more false negatives and fewer false positives than expert analyses. A comparatively new method for detecting internet shutdowns is remote sensing with automated oversight. These methods have been praised as more ethical and efficient as they do not endanger in-country volunteers. However, these methods have yet to produce regular datasets. Responsibility for the outage has somewhat speculatively been blamed on various organizations. Over 1 year internet outages can be prevented by a more resilient, decentralized and turn